Wait, sorry, you couldn't hear me. Hi, everyone. It's Valerie. Thanks so much for joining the Alaska Summer Travel Summit. We are definitely still learning from this technology. We hope you've been enjoying it so far. I am very excited to be back. And in case you are just tuning in for this session and you've missed some of the other sessions, I wanted to start out with a very quick introduction before we bring our speakers in and start our Kenai Peninsula panel. So I am Valerie. I run the travel blog Valerie and Valise. I focus on bucket list travel in the American West, especially Alaska, which is where I grew up and where I love to travel and write about. I also offer custom Alaska itineraries, which if you are a lifetime access ticket holder, you get a 20% discount on an itinerary if you need help planning your trip this year. In terms of housekeeping, you can ask all your questions in the YouTube chat. So it might be on the side, it might be on the bottom. If you have any questions throughout the session, feel free to pop them there and we will come back to them all at the end. So that's a reminder for our speakers. You do not need to answer questions on the fly. We will sort them out for you at the end. And let's go ahead and just get started. We'll bring in our speakers. Okay, looks like everyone is here. This is very exciting. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to switch and introduce each of you because we have 4 destinations on this panel. So unlike the last few sessions, if you were attending where it was just one speaker, we've got 4 destinations. We're packing it in for all of you. So we've got Brad, who's here from Homer. You want to give a wave, Brad?
Hello.
Hi. We have Debbie, who's representing the Kenai Peninsula Tourism Marketing Council. We have Kat from Seward. And we have Lisa, who is representing Whittier, but she also works for Phillips Cruises and Tours. So if you're planning to go to Whittier, she is the lady who knows everything about what to do there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. As a reminder, speakers, just give me a cue when you want me to change your slides.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brad Anderson. I'm the Executive Director over at the Homer Chamber of Commerce. And Laura DeCipio is joining me today. She is our Marketing Director. And so we're going to kind of walk you through what's special about Homer, why we love this place, and are anxious to share it. So, Valerie, thank you so much for putting this on today. And we're going to have fun sharing what's unique and fun about Homer. First off, I want to start, just let everyone know, Homer is open for business. We have done really well through this past year, through the 2020 year, and most of our businesses modified to stay open, but with our wide open spaces and number of outdoor activities, it's a very safe place to come and visit. And we're already seeing the results of that because our upfront bookings seem to be very, very strong so far. So we're really looking forward to what this year can bring. For me, it's very easy to share what's special about Homer. I first thought about 6 years ago, then decided, our whole family decided we wanted to move up here because we just fell in love with this place instantly. So I've been here a resident now 3 years, and I can see it from both a visitor standpoint and now being here, you know, how we can share and make these trips memorable and fun for folks. So, you know, on what it says on the top here, the end of the road, the adventure begins. That line comes from the fact that Highway 1, which starts in California, weaves its way up the coast through Canada. It ends here in Homer. And so that road is the westernmost, you know, furthest western continuous road in the U.S. And it all ends right here in this little town of Homer. So coming from Southern California, I know that Highway 1 route quite well. But beyond the sheer beauty of the traveling up here in the regions and what you see today, it's the community and the people up here that just really makes Homer quite a fun, special place to visit. When you come up here and see it, you'll experience that for yourself. And it's just what I enjoy so much about coming up here and sharing. We are a coastal community. We're surrounded by Kachemak Bay and the Cook Inlet. And so with beautiful views, mountain ranges on the sides and glaciers and volcanoes across Cook Inlet. So it's an incredibly scenic area to share. We also, those waters are very, very abundant for fishing, for halibut, for salmon, for rock cod and rockfish, which is where we get to one of our most known names, the halibut fishing capital of the world. Is because, yeah, this is if you want those prized halibut or just enjoy that amazing fish, we are one of the prize areas for featuring that. And now, one of the other areas that we're really item we're known for up here is the spit. And the Homer Spit is a straight stretch of land that goes 4 miles out in Kachemak Bay. And it was formed after thousands of years of glacier movements and brought that out. And it's a fun experience to go out there and see in the middle of the Kachemak Bay all the wildlife and boats and everything that come through that area. And so when you look at images of Homer, you'll always see something that shows the Homer Spit. In the upcoming slide, we'll have a chance to show that more for you. Along that way, also what's unique about Homer is, if you see one of the slides here, Alaska: The Last Frontier is a Discovery Channel that features the Kilcher family and some of the homestead work of many of the folks that's that area. And so that whole show is kind of shows images and is right outside of Homer. And we get a number of people come up here, want to see the Kilcher Museum and what's going on, and just learn about the history of the homesteaders that really helped form and create this area. It's a beautiful history, and the Pratt Museum here in town has a great history of that as well on the various homesteads here. And during the summer season, we have a number of events and activities that we put on to try to help fit a variety of interests. So whatever you're looking for in Alaska experience, you can definitely find that up here in Homer. Events that we put on that really another reason to come here. We have the Winter King Fishing Tournament. That is the premier fishing tournament in Alaska. And that's coming up here in April here shortly. We have a Shorebird Festival in May. The Halibut Tournament, that's in the first part of June. We've added a Homer Food Festival this year to try to celebrate a really unique feature of Homer is our dining and culinary art scene here. And Lauren will get into a little bit more of that one. Then we also this year are going to be putting on a city peony celebration. And if you're not familiar, the peony flower is the most popular flower for weddings. And I guess it's the second most popular flower in the world. And during the summer months, when everyone is looking for weddings, Alaska is the only region in the world that grows these flowers. So we have a very quickly growing industry here, 25 various farms around this region that grow them. And so we started to put an event to try to showcase what's going on with that, show the beauty of these flowers. And so that's another reason if you're coming up in July, you'll be able to see what's going on in the industry and see the flowers and the community out there celebrating that. And our coastal waters, along with the long summer days, just are ideal for making, these growing even larger and bigger flowers. So that's a quick summary of the first part. Let's go to slide 2, and then Lauren is going to jump in and cover a few things for you.
Hello, everybody. Just to keep going and share a little bit more about Homer. Well, one of the things about Homer that is unique is it really is a hometown. There are people that have lived here for generations, and it's almost like a living museum in that respect. And to that end, there are a lot of things that are, even maybe for people that aren't really looking to go out and do the adventure thing, there are things like writers' workshops, the Pratt Museum, all the cultural studies here with the first Alaskans that lived here for over 7,500 years. We've got the Homer Council of the Arts. We have such a vibrant arts community here, and it's growing every year. We have, so then the other aspect are our foods. We have locally grown foods, vegetables, even meats, chicken, cattle, and then we have all the abundance of the sea here. So the food choices and restaurant choices in Homer are really incredible. I think people are surprised sometimes when they come here and see the choices that we have. We have our Taste of Homer coming up, which is an annual event, which really showcases that. And again, we have so many things that people can do here that it's almost like anything you could think of to do in Alaska. We have access to it, or it's really right here in Homer. And talking about kind of expanding outside of the initial town area, we have around the bay, Kachemak Bay is an incredibly significant both in diversity with biology, but also cultural significance. Kachemak Bay was given to Alaskans and other people to enjoy by the first Americans, so it's protected. It was the first state park in Alaska. And so Homer acts as a portal to this vast wilderness that's accessible mainly by sea and boat, but we're kind of the jumping off point to access these places. And you can go as deep as you want, or even just a day trip across the bay on a boat and never even step on the land, but just see the incredible scenery. So we do have really something for everybody. I mean, if you're someone that is maybe not able to get around as easily, we're an extremely accessible community. People that might have some needs in that respect, but also anyone who's wanting to learn more or explore further. We have so many points of access to places that are really just incredible. And for me, one of the things that I learned quickly about coming to South Central Alaska, I ended up in Homer without knowing too much about it and just felt immediately like it was almost like a living museum. The town, the people, I mean, some of them are celebrities, most are not. They're all incredible people who share the community, teach you about what life is like, you know, keep you real and keep you on your toes. But it's a really amazing hometown. And we have several different neighborhoods that are all very distinctive. Some are on the coast, some are up in the hills. We have an old town that's really beautiful and incredible, full of history, great shopping. And I know why Expedia recently, their readers voted us one of the most popular destinations, the most popular destination in Alaska. And so there is something for everybody. And every day we're growing more and more with different options for people, no matter what the weather or your abilities or your interests. What else can I share?
Okay. Well, let's go to the next slide, and I'll kind of highlight a few more things here for you. We have a variety of options when you want to come up here and stay. If you want to stay along the beach, if you want to be up in the wilderness or go across the bay and a yurt or a cabin, there's a variety of options of lodging choices for you up here. We just added a new feature on our website. Our website is homeralaska.org. And on there, we have this feature. You can select the date range you're looking for, and either for the lodging, also for activities. And now we also have a link for the airlines of how to get down here. And so you can select your date you want to come up here, and you'll see the type of options are available for you. So we have amazing bed and breakfast stuff here. Our resorts and lodges have ocean views or up on the bluff or out in the wilderness. Another big growing trend for us is RVs and camping. And so for RVs, we have both on the beach and up here on the bluff overlooking the bay. And then camping, you can camp right out on the spit. And so you can just right with the ocean with available food and other accessories very nearby for you as well. So really any experience you'd like to have, or go across the bay and just get your own little private VRBO over there, and or some of the other coastal communities. There's some new opportunities for you there.
Even in the height of the season, you can find places in Homer to go walk on the beach and turn a corner and feel like you're really alone out there with it all to yourself in some areas. And then we have activities range from everything from kite surfing, stand-up paddle boarding, horse riding, kayaking, fat tire biking on the beach or on the backcountry trails. You can go jump on a plane right here in Homer on an airplane and go and see the bears. Very accessible. That's one of the most incredible experiences and really popular with our visitors and the locals alike. And then across the bay, we have villages, this village of Seldovia, which is a wonderful community And so there's just so many things you can learn every day here from anything that you might have an interest in.
So I see there's some questions coming in. We'll get to those later. And so we'll move into the next phase, but happy to answer questions when we get to the end here.
Perfect.
Again, our website is homeralaska.org if you want to learn more about what it's about.
Thank you, Brad and Lauren. Yeah, we will come back to questions if we have time. And then there will be a slide at the very end with all the websites for all of the destinations that you're going to hear from today. And I will say, Homer has become one of the most requested places that I get requests for on itineraries. So I think that the popularity and interest is definitely there. All right, we're going to move on to Debbie, who is representing the Kenai as a whole. So Debbie, take it away.
There we go. After a year of Zoom meetings, mute is continued to be my trip up. No more making fun of my mother for not knowing how to control the Zoom. Thank you, Valerie, for putting this on. It's so exciting to kind of preach the gospel of the Kenai Peninsula as a whole. Something we always talk about being Alaska's playground, and there's so many reasons for this. Part of it is just this is where Alaskans come year round. There's wide open spaces. There's a lot of activities like fishing and hiking, flight seeing, wildlife, glaciers, northern lights, great dining, breweries and wineries. And we are all on the road system. So very easy for Alaskans and visitors to reach us again year round. But 90% of the Kenai Peninsula is wilderness area. So extreme remote that's accessed either by water or by air, so by plane. So there's a lot of, we always say that the Kenai Peninsula, we offer an incredible up close and personal Alaskan experience. And just so people know, KenaiPeninsula.org is our website. Lots of information on destinations. We have itineraries that you can print off, and also, you know, our online guide, as well as requesting a guide or our passport to the Kenai Peninsula, which gives you discounts to the different communities and also provides some more information. So how do you get to the peninsula? So easy. We love Alaska Airlines. We also have Delta Airlines that come into Alaska, and there's more and more destinations that are coming in for direct flights. And then we have the Alaska Railroad. So once you get into Anchorage, you just south of Anchorage, you hop on the Alaska Railroad, which takes you directly to Seward. And this year, you'll hear that the Alaska Railroad, if you're going north of Anchorage, they are not doing every day, but because Seward is such a popular destination with locals and our visitors alike, the daily service going into Seward. You can also rent cars in Anchorage and Seward, Soldotna, Kenai, and Homer. There are some companies that do one way. So if you wanted to drive down to Seward or Homer or Kenai, you could do that and then take the train or fly back up. We also have a great local carrier, Raven Air, and they are doing great service, and they fly into Kenai and into Homer and then destinations across the state. But it's a nice about 25-minute flight, Anchorage to Kenai, and then about 30 to 35 minutes into Homer. And there's multiple daily trips that they make. There are some private bus lines that take in, so again, leaving from Anchorage and then connecting. And with their schedule, you could, you know, one day get to Seward and then coordinate with them to go to the other side of the peninsula. If you look at the map, we're pretty spread out. We've got the Harding ice field in between Seward and Homer, so we're kind of split in two. And then, of course, the Alaska Ferry System, which we love and connects you from the Pacific Northwest to Alaska. And their schedule is always updating, but a great way, especially for those who were planning on coming up on a cruise or planning on driving their RV through Canada. The ferries offer a great way. You can put your RV on in Bellingham, Washington, and make your way up to Alaska. So the Kenai Peninsula is massive. We include the large communities of Seward, Homer, Kenai, and Soldotna, where you can find all your, your services that you would need. But they are also great jumping off points to adventures all over the peninsula. Part of the draw to the peninsula is the Seward and Sterling highways, which I like to refer to as destinations in their own. So the Seward Highway heads south from Anchorage to Seward, and it takes you past Girdwood and the Alyeska Resort. Valerie, you're making a face.
Sorry about that. I just want to make sure that we also cover your video and your slides. So
Oh my goodness, my slide. I get so excited. Well, that's great. Let me just finish this.
Okay.
So, you get past Girdwood, which is fantastic. You go past the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center areas covered by Julie earlier. And then you get to the Welcome to the Kenai Peninsula sign. So let's hit the video.
Perfect timing.
Thank you. All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm done with this. I'm going to go play. I'm not jumping in the water, though. I'm just really excited for the summer, and spring is here. So the energy is just picking up. And, I really want to talk about, again, 15,700 miles. So a large area. There are several small communities that we kind of refer to as local secrets, and Hope is one of those communities. Right after you pass that Welcome to the Kenai Peninsula sign, you can turn left, turn right, don't turn left. You'll get to Hope, which in 1895 really came to be because of the gold rush. And I saw Valerie nod because it really is kind of a secret. Great camping, great trails, fishing, and then nightly live music that goes all night long at the Seaview Cafe. So it's just a really fun, eclectic little place. And if you're headed more towards Seward, you'll come to Moose Pass. It's located almost right between Hope and Seward, and it's kind of known for its 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, as well as the sign that says "Stop for gas" in Moose Pass. and I've fallen in love with this area. It's a great place to find lodging for a base camp, which you can spend time in Cooper Landing, you can spend time in Seward, and then exploring all those trails. If you're coming up and you do like to hike, I love the app alltrails.com, the app All Trails. It shows you, gives you, people post pictures, they post about how strenuous the trail is. And it's a great way that you can find trails that aren't necessarily written about in books, but people kind of locate those, and also gives you ideas of if things are on private property, which is an important thing to note while you're up here. In late spring, you'll see lots of wildflowers in bloom and wildlife. And then as it turns into summer, salmon start running. So it's really common that you'll see bears in our rivers around here. And Kat will focus more on the Seward area, but I do want to say that it really is one of my favorite places to visit year round. I love the whale watching out of there, visiting the Sea Life Center, and in the summer, and that's all, really in the summer, and during the winter, just really enjoying all the trails and kayaking and really just relaxing. Seward's a really nice, quiet place. When I have friends and family that are coming up from the lower 48, Cooper Landing, while small, it's one of the first places I take them. And this is each and every time because I like to play tourist as well. And it's the first community that you'll come to along the Sterling Highway. And it's, our website kind of calls it the gem of the Kenai Peninsula, and that's because it's emerald in the summer and a diamond in the winter. There's river rafting, fishing by boat or along the riverbanks. And, I really enjoy renting a cabin, hiking, enjoying the food and live music, and then, of course, spending time at the Cooper Landing Brewery. And there's lots of things for families to do that are cheap or free, and some of the, gold panning and things like that in the trails. There are some museums, but it's just a really wonderful, relaxing, well, as relaxing as you want to be and adventurous as you want to be. And as you head further south, you do have Sterling, where you have canoeing, paddleboarding, flight seeing, fly out bear tours. That's a lot of what draws people to Sterling, which is just 10 miles from the largest peninsula community of Soldotna. But it does feel like you're out in the middle of Alaska. Valerie?
I'm sorry to jump in, but we are going to run short on time.
Oh.
So I was wondering if you could jump back onto the slides and just give everyone a quick update on what's going on with COVID info.
Yes.
And then I think there's another slide as well about any new things that are happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really get excited about the peninsula. So
everyone, if you love the Kenai, I will try and set something up with Debbie, and we'll just email everyone and do a free webinar because she's so excited. I don't want to cut her off, but I also know we got to get to Kat and Lisa and
Yes.
get your questions and everything.
Both are super important. Okay, so let me just go here so I can see the slide a little bit better. All right, so Brad mentioned about COVID safe. People have been very cautious because medical facilities on the peninsula are few and far between. So a lot of people the businesses are, they've really shrunk the amount of people available on tours. So where you might have had 50 people on a bus, you'll be down to about half of that. Any of the boat tours, again, they're also shrinking the amount of people. And there was a federal mandate. So on all of your mass transit, like our ferry system, like whale watching tours, they are requiring people to wear masks. A lot of people, and I know Julie mentioned this, our rates of vaccine are high. And then, of course, lots of wide open spaces. So businesses are requesting that you wear masks. Some require it, some just have a recommendation. But really, it's important to keep our numbers down so that we can continue this wonderful travel season to Alaska. And then, of course, we do have our deals and packages, and that's available on kenaipeninsula.org. And you can also request a passport to the Kenai, which has lots of great deals for visiting. And next slide, Miss Valerie. Okay, so new experiences. We have people did make investments for businesses here on the peninsula. And what I love is nearly 100% of our businesses, you're talking to the owner and operator. So when you go out kayaking, you're with these small operators. So there have been some new people opening up and small adventures. So that's you're going to be in your private group or with a very small group of kind of like-minded people. There have been a lot of renovations happening where people had time with less passengers to upgrade boats, upgrade cabins, and that's kind of exciting. And again, there are deals available on our website. And then Valerie, anytime you want to set up a small webinar or if you need more information, I would love to help you out with there. And everyone, like Brad said, we are open for business and more importantly, a year-round Alaska playground.
Thank you so much, Debbie. And I'm going to email you. We're going to get something set up for everyone attending, and we'll let everybody know. We're going to spread the word about the Kenai and all the communities. I want to cover them all.
Yes,
okay.
There's so much.
There's so much there. That's why it's the playground. All right. We are switching over to Seward. Kat, it is all you. Please make sure you're unmuted, and it is yours to take away.
Hey everyone, my name is Kat and I am the communications director at Seward, Visit Seward in Seward, Alaska. So Seward is my home. I've lived here for 3 years now and love everything year round. And I'm excited to share a little bit about the things going on in town going into the summer season and our COVID precautions. But first, I just wanted to head right into this video and we'll check it out and kind of show a little bit about what we have to offer here in Seward. So Valerie, if you want to start that.
Yes, yes!
Run. All we have to do is run. We don't have to go alone on this road together.
Awesome. So that is kind of a little overview of everything that we have going on in Seward. What I like to tell people is Seward is a great place to come and visit if you have a long bucket list. We have the options to kind of attack everything that you would want to do: glacier hiking, whale watching, zip lining, feeding puffins, riding dog sleds. You know, we are home to Dallas Seavey, the winner of the 2021 Iditarod, and super excited about all of our different dog sledding providers that we have in town. We are also the gate to the Kenai Fjords National Park. So if you wanted to go out and visit any of the multiple glaciers that stem from the Harding Ice Field, or see the intricacies of Kenai Fjords National Park and the wildlife that live there, like orca whales, humpback whales, sea lions, puffins, and more, that's definitely a big attraction down here in Seward. But if you are coming down, there are some things to kind of be aware of moving into this COVID cautious time that we've been in for the past year. We do request, we did have a mask mandate, but that has since expired, but a lot of businesses request that you wear a mask indoors and social distance if possible. So just be respectful of the different businesses. Nearly all of them post their requirements on the front door. And for us to have a safe and healthy summer, we need our visitors to follow those precautions as well. A lot of excursions have been lower, have had their occupancies lowered, like Debbie was saying. So it's good to book your excursions early and make sure everything's lined up and that you are good to go once you get here in Seward. Our local dining scene is amazing. We have Thai food, barbecue. We have a new Asian Pacific Island fusion place that opened up downtown that I am in the harbor that I'm obsessed with. Our coffee is delicious, fresh baked goods. But if you are uncomfortable going into dining, many of them are offering to go to take out and to go options or outdoor seating in the summer, probably in the winter too if you're brave enough. And then the Alaska Sea Life Center is located in Seward and one of our big attractions. They are operating under a reservation system. So if you want to have a chance to see the sea lions, the otters, visit the touch tanks, be sure you check online ahead of time for that. They have specific windows in there that you can book to come in. I would also recommend doing a private excursion. You can get up close and personal with a puffin or an otter or the octopus. The octopuses or octopi are especially friendly and really cool to hang out with. Some favorite restaurant names going back a bit, the Cookery, Woody's, Ray's, and Zooties are all great ones in downtown. In the harbor area. Outside of town, I really love Resurrection Roadhouse on Exit Glacier Road, and it has the best outdoor dining seating. You will find me there almost every sunny day in the summer. Valerie, if you wanted to head to the next slide. So some of our accommodations and experiences in Seward, the list is really long. I've lived here for multiple summers now and still have not done everything. But if you're coming to stay, the best options are a variety of vacation rentals throughout town. We have a lot of cute cabins, cozy apartments, downtown, historic buildings that have been converted into vacation rentals. And that's a cool way to find a home or lodging experience that's kind of catered to you. We also have a lot of really great campgrounds. There are some located on Exit Glacier Road and others downtown along the harbor and the waterfront that are operated by the city. They have switched to a reservation system this year, an online reservation system. So that if that's something you're interested in, be sure to book online at the cityofseward.org. Public use cabins, which are my personal favorite way to get out and explore the area, are booking up so fast. I was lucky to get 2 of them this past weekend, but got it under the wire. So if that's kind of how you like to travel, more off-grid backpacking remote, I would recommend getting those earlier rather than later. And then ask your lodging providers about booking a boat cruise or Kenai Fjords National Park cruise. They offer a lot of deals and packages. We have some great traditional hotels in town that are located adjacent to the marina and harbor. So you can just wake up and hop on your boat cruise. I think that we have some people representing them later on in the day. And then some favorite experiences that I have, kayaking among the icebergs at Bear Glacier. I've done this a few times and it is just unreal, otherworldly. You get up close and personal with these huge pieces of ice and are just overwhelmed, but I'm always overwhelmed by how beautiful it is out there. Another cool way to experience the Kenai Fjords National Park, if you're looking for a more intimate experience than a day trip, is to book a motherboard ship. So that is a type of excursion where you are on the boat for multiple days and nights. The captain and or deckhand help feed you with delicious meals. You'll go explore different areas of the national park or Resurrection Bay. And a lot of times they'll have kayaks or paddle boards on board and different excursions planned. So while you're there for a few days, staying and sleeping on the boat, you can do different things from that boat. This is a really great option for groups traveling together who want to be stay within their COVID bubble. So I would definitely recommend one of those. You can also visit this year's puppies at our sled dog kennels. They are so cute and adorable and fun and friendly. So you can do a dog sledding ride either through the woods on like golf carts, or you can head up to a glacier and dog sled on the glacier where there is snow year-round for the dogs to train. A big draw in Seward that I want to make sure I hit on is our whale watching. So we are just seeing the return of the gray whales right now, and cruises are going out to try and spot those. And then there's also the killer whales and the humpback whales start coming soon. We've been having a lot of orca killer whale sightings in the past couple of weeks. And then the humpbacks start coming soon. I forget exactly when. It's been different the past couple of years, but you can spot them bubble feeding or lunge feeding from the shore. But a cruise is definitely the best way for whale watching. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I love about Seward and where I live. We have our annual Mount Marathon race, which has been changed to July 7th this year. So if you're a runner and want to experience that Alaskan experience, I would definitely recommend coming for that either this year or in the future. If you have any other questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas, want help planning your trip, you can go to seward.com and check out that website. We also have a really great visitor guide that we're super proud of and love sharing. You can request that online there, or feel free to always give me an email at communications@seward.com. And then Valerie, I'm gonna give it back to you. I think I talked fast enough to get all that.
You did. Thanks so much. There is so much to cover. So here's what's going to happen. We are working to get Lisa back in because I am not sure. I think because we've got two panels happening close together, there's a bunch of people in the room at the same time on the back end. So Lisa, we're going to try and get you in right away. We are not taking a break. We are going to go straight in. We're going to give Lisa a few minutes. We're going to run right through the break. So Brad, Debbie, Kat, if you all want to hop off, thank you so much. I will email you each with questions we received about your destinations, and we'll connect the dots with anybody who had questions. We're going to get Lisa in here to have her do the Whittier slides, and then we will go right on into our experiences and tours panel because there's just so much to cover. I wish, now I know, this is the first time we've ever done this. Now I know we just have to have more time. There's just this is not enough time. Now I know. Next time we do this, we're going to make it longer, maybe split it into 2 days, and we will get plenty of time to cover all of this. Okay, Lisa, I think we've got you, right?
Yep, looks like it.
All right, Lisa, take it away on Whittier.
Okay, perfect. So, welcome to Whittier. I'm happy to join you today. Let me turn this mic down so this works for me.
And you do have just about
feedback?
No feedback. You have about 5 minutes, just so you know.
Fun. Okay, so we have a video that I'm going to ask you to play. It's 2 minutes. Let's see if that rolls.
Sidewalk barefoot down the trail to your house. Voice like thunder call your name, ringing out. Voice for our kingdom where we ran and we began. We were caught up in the light, brought out with the waves.
Okay, great. Can you hear me still?
We can hear you.
Oh, perfect. So that video was put together with several of our partners that are located in Whittier. And I think that was the quickest way to show you what exactly you can expect to see in Whittier. We are known as the gateway to Prince William Sound. And I'm Lisa Cruz. I work for Phillips Cruises and Tours. And you saw our vessel, that beautiful Klondike Express, on the right-hand side of the slide in front of you, cruising and taking guests right up close to the glaciers. I'm also a volunteer for the Whittier Chamber of Commerce. And so what I'd like to talk to you about today is some of the other things that you can do in Whittier. So let's go ahead and talk about the active sports. If you are interested in jet skiing or sea kayaking or fishing, and you really want that close touch experience, getting involved in the activity that you're doing, I would highly recommend these. They do sell out early, so book now if you're planning to go anytime this summer. We do have some COVID restrictions in place, but as the summer goes forward and Alaska continues to up their vaccination rate, we're hoping that those restrictions will be melting away. But each operator is going to have a different set of restrictions, as you've heard from some of the other presenters today. So it's best to find that activity that you love and you really want to engage with. And once you book it, then make sure that you've checked out the details and then check back again 2 weeks before you travel. Some of the other experiences on the right-hand side of this slide are the Glacier and Wildlife Cruises, the museum in Whittier, and also just staying in our cute little seaside town. All of these are available to multiple generations of people. So if you're planning a family reunion to Whittier and you want to bring grandma and mom and dad and the little kids, some of the activities on the right-hand side are appropriate for everyone. Go ahead to the next slide, please. So in Whittier, we do have some accommodations right in town called the Inn at Whittier. There's also the Anchor Inn. There's a campground if you're traveling Alaska by RV. And then many of our guests will stay in Anchorage or Girdwood, and they'll use Whittier as their place to come and play, but they'll base camp out of one of the other communities that's very close to us. Recently in Whittier, we've improved several of the trail systems for day hikes. They've improved the boardwalk. They've included a historical map. So when you pick up the City of Whittier's chamber map and you can explore around the town, you can follow all the historic markers and get to learn about the history of Whittier while you're doing that safe, social distanced outside. We also get 5 different species of salmon that come into Prince William Sound. And so throughout the course of the summer, you get that opportunity to see salmon in our creeks and streams, which means that there's often black bears nearby because they love to fish on the salmon. So bring some bear bells with you, or when you get to Alaska, if you're going to be hiking in the backcountry, pick up some bear spray. That's always a good thing. And reacquaint yourself with the rules of how to engage with wildlife when you're out there. A lot of people ask us what wildlife they'll see when they're in Whittier, and most of our tours do operate on the water. So harbor seals are a common sight, and also these cute little otters. And if you come out in the month of May, you're likely to see both of these animals with their pups with them. We do get whales, and hundreds of migratory birds come into the area. Go ahead to the next slide. I'm almost done.
That's it.
Oh, I think that was it.
That's it.
Yeah, so one of the, if I can mention real quick, getting to Whittier is unique out of any place else in the state of Alaska because we are separated from the rest of the highway system by a tunnel that you have to travel through. And the tunnel is called the Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel. And it does operate on a strict schedule to provide shared service between the railroad and vehicle traffic. And it alternates every 30 minutes. So just if you remember, you have to be there at the half hour to get to Whittier. You'll know the schedule. And then at the top of the hour, you can leave town up until 11 p.m. If you miss the last tunnel, you get an unexpected overnight in Whittier, and we would love to have you come visit us. And I'm sorry to be so rushed through this presentation, but I'm trying to keep Valerie on track for the rest of the presenters. So hope to see you all in Alaska soon.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I really appreciate you being time conscious. I will follow up with you. We might do a special where we'll bring you and Debbie on and let you just cover that whole Kenai Peninsula from every angle.
Yeah,
do
or
another
I'd love
webinar.
to partner up with Girdwood too. We could do a little Girdwood Whittier stay and play promotion.
Perfect.
So happy to help, and thank you so much for putting this together.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. watching. We are running just about 5 minutes behind. I knew that was going to happen at one point. It's just how it goes when you've got so many people who are so excited about sharing Alaska with you. So screenshot this slide. Don't forget, I will email you all of the websites from all of our speaker partners. Very briefly, we are not going to take a break, but I just want to mention our sponsor, Fly Local. They have some really big things happening this year, so be sure to give them a follow on Facebook or Instagram for updates and learn more about their air travel services that they offer in Alaska. You can also visit their website to browse flights across Alaska at flylocal.io.